I just baked some cookies. Thought that would make me feel better. Kind of made me feel worse. Just kidding. I'm not going to let that affect my psyche at all. I made cookies, period. That's it. Okay. I feel like shit because of so many other things in the world. The cookies didn't do anything. Although I maybe cooked them a little bit too long. So, like, that's my fault again. Like everything else in the fucking world. And that's how I feel today. Okay. Hi, my name is Fox. I'm exhausted and depressed, but I want to talk about books. So, I haven't been reading a lot since the summer. I've been working on a whole bunch of other stuff. I started school, online school, in August or September, end of August, September. And I've been working a lot and just putting my time into other things. I released my album in October. Just whatever, a whole bunch of stuff where I've kind of been not reading as much. I guess not doing a lot of the things that I normally do. And as a result, I have been feeling really shitty. But I'm going to talk about the books that I have read recently, which is not many, but there are a couple good ones in there, so let's chat about it. So firstly, the Throne of Glass series. I have 2 more books in that series. Honestly, didn't know that there was like 8 books in this series. I don't really know why. My personal opinion is that they could have ended it after the 4th one. You could have wrapped it up. I'm in either the 5th or the 6th book right now. I read the 5th one and the 6th one since the summer. It's been a while now, so I don't remember which ones. Basically, my thoughts about those is my favorite character is Manon. I love her. I love her character growth. I think it's like really interesting to see someone who's kind of been like forced to be the best at, you know, what she had to be, which was a really evil, twisted sort of person, and then seeing that kind of de-evolve. I think she's just a really cool, like, savage, strong character, and her little traces of empathy are just like make her flesh out to be like a really phenomenal character. I loved what happened with her and her wyvern, and that was a lot of like my favorite parts of the whole story. Thought that Elite and Manon were gonna be a thing. I guess I'm just a fucking gay idiot for that one. I really disliked Kale's character. Honestly, like, I don't know how anybody could like that dude. I'm almost done with whatever book I'm on now, like literally 80% my Kindle says. Oh yeah, I should show you. Here's my Kindle. Oops, I just smacked myself. Yeah, that's what I've been reading, this Throne of Glass series on by Sarah J. Maas. I like them. I think it's entertaining. I really like Rowan. I like the building of the relationship between Aelin and Rowan. I think that was really realistic and fun, and I kind of didn't expect it to turn out the way it did, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think that they're a good match. What else? Lysandra, love her, with the whole squid battle thing. You just love her. I love her. I think that she's one of the coolest characters. Yeah, I think her character arc is actually one of my favorites. I really appreciate her a lot, and I'm excited to see more of her. Yeah, I think that's about it. Is I want to see what happens with Manon's character a lot. That's really like a huge thing that I'm sticking around for. But also, my friend is also reading this series, and she's literally on the same book as me. She finished it before me because she's been nonstop reading this series, and it's really cool to have like a friend who's reading the same series at the same time as you, who you can talk with it about. And she's really the reason like why I want to finish this series. I think just like with this book, it's just slowed down a little bit. There's like a lot of sex scenes too, which I didn't expect, like just compared to like the first 5 books. I was like, whoa. I sound like a prude. But anyways, yeah, I think I'll be back to talk about the next book that I read, and then I'll give my full opinions on the full series once I finish that. But it's good. It's a little bit hard to finish this one that I'm on now. I think it's the sixth one. Forgive me. All right, next one. I don't think I've talked about this yet, but in the summer, I was getting into like audiobooks for a little period of time. Only found like a few on YouTube that were free that I was able to listen to. I think one of them actually was one of the Throne of Glass ones. I think I had as an audiobook. I don't even remember. But I do remember that I listened to I really wish I could remember the narrator because he was my favorite. He was so good. But I actually listened to Midnight Sun, the audiobook. Yeah, the most recent Twilight novel. So here's the thing. When I was in like high school, that's when all that shit happened. Like middle school, high school. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was like I was in late middle school when Twilight came out. So it was just like really a big thing, swept the nation. It was iconic. And of course, I read the books and I really enjoyed them, honestly. Like as a kid, it was, like young adult, it was a really entertaining, and it was entertaining for everybody, and that's why it got so big. Obviously, it's ridiculous. Like nobody's trying to deny that. And it's fucking weird, especially the stuff that happens in like the last book. We don't talk about that. The movies are weird, except the last movie I kind of enjoyed how they did that little twist with Alice's vision. Anyways, I'm rambling. I'm getting off track. Midnight Sun. Midnight Sun is now my favorite book in this whack-ass series. I think it fleshed out the whole thing. I think it fleshed out every single character, and it made the dynamic between Bella and Edward way less weird. And that's all I wanted, honestly. Like, I wanted a reason to like this fucking whack-ass series so that I don't have to be embarrassed about, like, something that was a part of my childhood. Yeah, like, was obsessed with Harry Potter. That took a big hit this year. Was obsessed with, like, Twilight in middle school. That's never been a cool thing to like. I guess I'm just I'm a loser, baby. Oh my god, that was awful. What the fuck? Okay. Reasons why I like Midnight Sun. Okay, tell me why. Why did I like this? I'm 22 years old. Why did I like this weird book that's written from an 103-year-old, 17-year-old's perspective? No, okay, let's start there. So, honestly, seeing from Edward's point of view makes him way less creepy. You realize that he legitimately is like a 17-year-old. Like he got stunted. He got stuck at that sort of mindset, point of view, whatever. That's why he's so angsty. That's why he's just like this emo, like weird teenage boy who just, has been around for a really long time. Stuck living the teenage experience forever, which is kind of sad. But it makes it make a lot of sense why he would connect with someone his own age, like how he thinks. And it also makes the dynamic of him make a lot more sense. Like if there was an adult man acting like this, I would have something to say, but he's a teenager. It makes it all not weird, right? No, legitimately, I liked it. I liked hearing from his perspective. I think that this was something. So one thing I will say about Stephenie Meyer, she wrote one of my favorite fantasy novels, which is The Host. If you've seen the movie and haven't read the book, please go read the book. It's so good. Way better than the film. I don't know why she produced that film and let it be the way it is. Pretty cool that she got Saoirse Ronan to play Melanie / Wanda, but it really could have just, you could have done so much better with that as a movie. I was really disappointed as someone who loved that book in high school. Now, my reason for bringing that up, I also have a book by her called The Chemist. I've heard that that's good. I haven't read that yet. Haven't really had the time or the inkling. Maybe I'll check that out. Who knows? Honestly, I really enjoy Stephenie Meyer's creative worlds that she builds. They're really just awesome to be sucked into. And I will say that her ability to craft a world like that and craft, like a sci-fi universe and to really suck you in with that, it's there. She's skilled. definitely recommend 100% The Host. I think that's her best one that I've read. Like, obviously, you know, we're not going to say that like the Twilight series is her best writing or anything. Point being, her way of portraying seeing through a mind reader's eyes, I really enjoyed. I thought it was really intriguing. It was a concept that was bound to be intriguing and really exciting anyways. I can't even think of really I can think of a few where they were like perspectives of mind readers, but not a book that was entirely from a mind reader's point of view. And especially Edward, he's so weird, but he's like analytical enough where it's just like, I don't know. I like appreciated listening through his point of view. Oh, there's so much light over here. Whoa. Anyways, yeah, it made all of the other characters flesh out and made you, it was way easier to empathize with these other characters. It was way easier to empathize with Edward, honestly. Like, tell me why I was like, wow, I have a lot in common with this weird 17-year-old 103-year-old boy man. Like, I actually liked him. Like, the way he thinks is just like, okay, I can see where you're going here, Edward. And the way that you see the thoughts of the other family members through Edward's eyes, I really appreciated it. It made Bella make a little bit more sense with how he was able to hear how Renee thought and how Charlie thought. That was a cool like extra touch there. It made Jasper way more likable to see into his mind. I really appreciated that. He was one character who just kind of seemed very aloof and cold throughout the whole Twilight series, and you get to see a little bit more into him in this book. And Rosalie, too, made her a lot more likable. And that's interesting because I always was under the suspicion that, like, if you had mind reading or some sort of ability like that where you would be privy to people's most private thoughts, it would be a nightmare. But I didn't really think about it in the opposite respect where you would be forced to empathize with literally everyone around you. However, I will say it made me hate Mike Newton. Like, I thought he was just like, whatever, an annoying little gnat in the Twilight series, like the first time reading. In Midnight Sun, you're like, wow, I understand why Edward fucking hates this kid. Which, you know, that's another downside. Like, you're gonna base opinions off of people's thoughts when, like, thoughts aren't what define people. And that's a really interesting, like, perspective. Like, what sort of character would Edward have to be to just take it all in and not really formulate solid opinions or react to what people's thoughts are? I don't know. I just thought it was really cool. Really enjoyed it. I do recommend the audiobook that I listened to. I don't know which one it is. I would link it below, but I went to go recommend it to a friend of mine and they deleted it. The only one available is the one read by Stephanie Meyer, which, I mean, Edward is a man, so I liked it being read by this man. And he had like a nice, just like a lovely voice. It really fleshed out the character. I will see if I can find who it was, and I will link that in the description down below. But yeah, I think that's all my thoughts on Midnight Sun. I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected to. It's my favorite book in the Twilight series. It fleshes out the whole series a lot more. Honestly, I feel like the Twilight series is kind of incomplete without Midnight Sun. Like, if you're looking to read this series for some reason for the first time ever, definitely go like Twilight, Midnight Sun, and then the rest of the series. That's just my opinion. I think it's kind of cool to have that in there. Now, this is kind of embarrassing. After I read Midnight Sun, I was like, oh, his perspective is so interesting and it adds so much to the story. You know what I want to do? Read New Moon and imagine like what Edward was thinking the whole time. And that was honestly fun. Like, I enjoyed that. I think he's just like a weird dude, and I honestly relate more with him than I did with Bella's character. So yeah, I read New Moon. This is another reason why I haven't read any productive books. I've been too busy reading this shit. It's embarrassing. Like, I'm embarrassed. Don't get me wrong, dude. But it's the truth. So there you go. The second book Well, no, we're on like 4 now. I read 2 of the Throne of Glass, Midnight Sun, New Moon. Oh, 5. Okay. Fifth thing that I read was the third installment of Snot Girl. I love this comic. I think this is maybe one of my favorite comics. It's just so wacky, so weird. You don't really know what the fuck's going on. You think you know what's going on, but you're also like, literally like, what the hell is happening this whole time? The ending, didn't expect that to finally happen, but I'm also like, what did they mean when Cool Girl and that guy said that little thing about like how they're not going to tell Snot Girl, whatever? It was really like cryptic. Spoilers, sorry, should have said that before all this, but definitely recommend the Snot Girl comic book series. I've been waiting for each installment to come out. This is the 4th one, I'm quite sure. It's rated T for teen, but there's like, it's weird. Like there's like kind of sort of murder, and like Lottie gets shrooms slipped to her. Like definitely like more adult content than I would expect. Oh, it's volume 3. I thought that there was more for some reason. It does seem like a lot of a story when you do read it, which is really cool. So yeah, I was really happy to read that. I also got an awesome poster with this copy. I think I got this one either from Newberry Comics or Barnes & Noble, and they had a special edition that came with a pull-out poster, which was really awesome. I love Snot Girl so much. When I had acid green hair, I wish I fucking cosplayed her. Now I'm just going to have to get an acid green wig. Damn it. Okay, so done with that. Next, moving on to poetry books. So I got 2 poetry books in the month of November. One is Sweet Dark by Savannah Brown. I'm not done reading all of the poems in this yet, but I have read what looks like half, and I really love them so far. My favorite poem is Bloodsucker. I saw that in the table of contents, and I had to read it because I have a song by the same name. I mean, albeit spelt differently, but I was really excited, and it's a beautiful poem. I just like happened to be like, oh my God, I really love this. All of her writing is really beautiful. I kind of like how she words things, and it's like really symbolic, and it like alludes to what she's talking about, but it gives the reader the space to analyze and to really think and find their own meaning. I like that, how it's not out there blatantly for you. And I think it's really beautiful. And I'm really proud of her. This is her second poetry bind up that she's released. And I am really proud of her. It's awesome. She's a YouTuber, by the way. If you haven't checked her out, you definitely should. She's really cool. And then the other poetry book that I got, of course, had to get it, is Halsey's first ever book. It's I Would Leave Me If I Could. It's a poetry bind up, poetry anthology. It feels so nice. I did a video where I opened this, where I unboxed this for the first time. So you've heard me talk about how nice it is, how nice it feels. But I have read a chunk, like maybe a third of these poems, and it's almost like opposite to Savannah Brown's. Like Savannah makes you work for it. Halsey just has like a very lyrical prose way of writing. It does, some of these pieces sound like songs. Some of them reference songs, which is really like cute little like treats for fans throughout the writing. And you know definitely what she's talking about, but it's just like so lyrically like poetic and beautiful that it's really nice to just hear. I feel like I'm getting closer to her. Like I feel like I'm bonding with her by reading these. Like I feel like I'm so close to, like you're just so personal. You're just like seeing into her mind. And that's something that I think is really, really freaking cool. She really put herself out there with this, and I think it really paid off. I think it's a beautiful piece of work. I'm not done with it yet. I'm reviewing both of these poetry books without finishing them yet, just because like I don't think you have to with anthologies like rate it based on the whole thing. Like you get a feel for it, and I'm going to take my time devouring these poems. I don't want to rush through it just so that I can, like rate it as a whole. Like I've read decent enough where I know that I like it. I don't think it's going to be anything where I'm like, oh, fuck this, like they're really beautiful poems. And I've been really appreciating like being able to read like little bits every day and just little poems and think about that. And it's not like committing to a lot to read, just like a couple poems and stuff. It makes you feel nice, happy, whatever. I like it. Therapeutic. Anyways, yeah. So I think those are all the books that I read since the end of the summer. It's November now. I have so many books I've been meaning to read, but I've just been doing other stuff. So sorry about that. Bear with me. It's only 9 o'clock, but I'm just like, I feel like it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm so tired. Alrighty. That's it for today. Actually, I feel like there's something else I had to film, but that's it for this video. So thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Thanks if you've listened to the end of this and you listened to me just rant about a bunch of random fucking books that you probably don't give a shit about. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I hope that you come back to hang out the next time that I do some stupid rant shit on here. Thank you to like the 20 people on here who stick around to see me do dumb shit yet again. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Signing off.